Stackhouse on the bench. Oh, awesome.
Stackhouse! Oh, my.
Awesome play. Not many guys in the college level, if any, can do this. Goes underneath, gets fouled twice, and still jams.
There were many players said to be the next Michael Jordan throughout the 90s and 2000s, one of them being Jerry Stackhouse. Coming out of North Carolina, Stackhouse drew a lot of comparisons to MJ since both players played at UNC, went number 3 in their respective drafts, and the fact both had similar size and the above-the-rim styles of play. In the 2000-2001 season, Stackhouse was the second leading scorer in the league behind Allen Iverson. In 5 of his first 8 seasons, he was a 20-plus point scorer, but you rarely hear his name in conversation of being one of the best scorers of the early 2000s. So how good was Jerry Stackhouse? After being North Carolina State Player of the Year in 1992 at Kingston High School, Jerry went on to play his senior year at Oak Hill and become a McDonald's All-American. Stack decided to stay home in North Carolina and go to school in Chapel Hill in 1993. In his first 2 years at UNC, he went on to play with future pros Rasheed Wallace, Jeff McGinnis, and Shammond Williams. In his sophomore season, Stackhouse led the team in scoring at 19 points per game and 8 rebounds. He was Sports Illustrated National Player of the Year and First Team All-America. After starring in his second year with the Tar Heels, Stack declared for the draft in 1995 and was selected number 3 overall by the Philadelphia 76ers. In his first season with the 76ers, Stackhouse averaged 19 points per game along with almost 4 rebounds and 4 assists. He was named to the NBA's All-Rookie team and he was the leading scorer and the go-to guy. But the Sixers only went 18-64 in the 1995-96 season. And with the number 1 pick in the 96 draft, the Sixers selected Allen Iverson. Stackhouse and Iverson were viewed as the backcourt of the future for Philly, but much didn't come of the two with the Sixers. Jerry averaged almost 21 points per game in the 96-97 season, and him and AI combined for 44 points for the Sixers in their first season together. Due to chemistry issues and rumors of the two almost fighting over who was the main guy in Philly, somebody had to go in the eyes of the franchise. Midway through the 98 season, the Sixers decided Iverson was the guy to lead the franchise, and Stack was traded to the Detroit Pistons in exchange for 3 players and a first-round pick. After a couple of years coming off the bench behind Joe Dumars and Grant Hill, Stack got his opportunity to be a starter once again in 1999 and 2000 season, and he wouldn't disappoint. He averaged almost 24 points per game, almost 5 assists and 4 rebounds as the Robin to Grant Hill's Batman. He made his first All-Star team, and the team went 42-40. In the 2000 offseason, Grant Hill went to Orlando to pair up with T-Mac. Stackhouse had the team to himself and had the opportunity to show he was able to be the guy on the team. Jerry had another All-Star season. He put up almost 30 points per game with 5 assists and 4 rebounds, shooting a career-high 35% from the 3. He was the second leading scorer behind former teammate Allen Iverson, averaging 31 points per game. He even scored his career high of 57 points, which is still a Detroit Pistons single-game record for points in a game. But the Pistons went 32-50 with Stackhouse being the main man. During this time, the stigma around Stackhouse was that he could put up numbers on mediocre teams, but in the 01-02 season, he showed he could lead his team to more team success. In the 2001-2002 season, Jerry was still the leading scorer on the Pistons, but his points per game dropped by 8 points from the previous year to 21. But the team won 52 games with Stackhouse as the go-to guy offensively, alongside the Defensive Player of the Year, Ben Wallace, holding it down on defense with almost 4 blocks and averaging 13 rebounds per game. The team would lose in the second round of the playoffs, but this was Jerry's best season in my opinion in terms of individual stats and team success. Shortly before the 2002-2003 season, Jerry Stackhouse would be traded in a move that would send Rip Hamilton to the Pistons and Stack to the Wizards to play alongside MJ in his last season. Jerry Stackhouse averaged 21.5 points per game, almost 5 assists and 4 boards. This season was pretty frustrating for Jerry though. He stated in an interview with Woj in April of 2020, he wished he never played with Michael Jordan.
I had a reverence from him, and honestly, I wish I never played in Washington for a number of reasons. I mean, I felt like we were on our way in Detroit before I got traded there, but it was really challenging to be able to be in a situation with an idol who, at this particular point, I felt like I was a better player. And things were still being run through Michael Jordan.
The two were at different points in their career. Stackhouse was in his late 20s and Mike was at 40. MJ led the team in field goal attempts and averaged 20.6 rebounds and 4 assists. The two games didn't mix well, and the Wizards ended up having the same record as they did the year before at 37-45. To make matters worse, this was Stack's last healthy prime season. Detroit clearly won the trade between the two teams. Everything in Detroit was flourishing with Rip Hamilton, Chauncey Billups, and with Rip playing a key role in eventually winning the Pistons a championship in 2004. In 2004, Stack was traded to Dallas, but due to injuries and decline in athleticism, Jerry was reduced to a role player. Stackhouse did play a key role in getting Dallas to the finals in 2006, alongside Dirk Nowitzki. After his Dallas stint in 2009, Jerry bounced from team to team, being signed and released, finishing out his career in Brooklyn in 2012. Jerry Stackhouse is a name that is forgotten amongst NBA circles. Although Jerry was an inefficient scorer shooting only 40% for his career, he was an all-star player in his prime, but his prime didn't last long. He was also an underrated passer and defender for his time. He was somebody who could flourish with the right pieces around him in situations in Detroit and Dallas, and he was a player who could score with the best in the early 2000s. If you like this video and this type of content, definitely hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Q_Hicks3 and let me know who I should do next. I appreciate you for listening, and I'm out. Peace.